like DJ Khaled say. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Like DJ Khaled. Here on episode 35 of the Block to Block podcast, the best podcast in the world for all things Web3. Here we break down the technology, what's going on in the market, and the ways in which you can benefit. I am NFT and Jai,
And I am Web3 Wayne.
and over here, the talk is different.
Always, always. You know, we like to keep our talk so different, so monumental, right? Right. That we gotta give a disclaimer because some people might mistake this different talk for financial advice, and we can't have that. So please, 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 please use this podcast for informational purposes only. Take this back to your financial advisor or any other financial professional so that you can maintain your cheese, cheddar, mozzarella, provolone. And with that, let's get the podcast started.
Let's get it started, man. It's been a minute since we have had this format of an episode. We had a
Right?
few guest speakers on. Like last week, we had on Garrett Ransom and like what he's doing with Thurman Labs in order to ensure that we can bridge that capital or wealth or funding gap for Black-owned businesses. So check out episode 34. It was a fire discussion. But and then we even had Sean on the Seven Streams the week beforehand.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
gave that game of how to become a web developer, right? So it's been a minute since the people just had you and I on a show segment, and really looking forward into this.
I know they miss us. I know they miss us. It's all good though.
But if you don't want to miss us, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share out with all of your loved ones. Even the haters, share it with them too. Everybody needs this game, this gem.
Yes, yes. And of course, follow us on social medias as well at Relink Global. We do more than podcasts. We're business owners. We have activations that we're doing, events, if you will. Definitely want all of you to come out, pull up support. And they've been a vibe. They've been a vibe to say the least.
So
They
much
have
of a
been.
vibe, man. If you haven't, go to the YouTube channel and check out the recap of the SIP, Paint, and NFTs event. Fire, fire, dope, intimate vibe,
Man,
man.
real intimate. It was great being able to provide that experience. We had great artists, Lexi, come out and really lead. She's just, great person, very charismatic, great artist, of course. And of course, we had Zay Knight in the building helping to curate the vibe. So it all just came together, man. It really came together, and I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Amir providing the gallery space. It was a beautiful, beautiful space. Love for Immigrants were the ones that had a previous art show there, so their artwork was still on the wall. Great art. Again, check out that recap video because in there you can see some of that art and see just the vibe that was there.
Mhm.
Mama, what were your thoughts, NFT and Jai, about that event? How you feeling on your end?
It was amazing. Oftentimes, and for like the last few episodes, you all probably hear us when we mention our events that we're doing, right? And so it's always a great feeling to be able to take an idea from inception, right? When it's just in your head, you're trying to figure it out, to the behind the scenes work of doing those planning committee meetings and making sure you got your itinerary, your checklist, your marketing activity, everything to lead to that singular moment. And just being in that space, and also shout out to Delta Plain Cellars, for providing the wine for the event as well. Shout out to them. But to be in
The
that
wine
moment,
was good. The wine was
you know, I don't drink, so I don't know. I just took their word for it.
good.
But man, just to be in that singular moment where you get to see everybody just experiencing the pleasures of art from a holistic standpoint, right? We had Lexi, who's an artist that we're working with within Timbucktoo, who's able to like showcase her skill set and have this fun instructional type session, right? And then we see the participants who are art enthusiasts who are just enjoying the vibe and get into a point in which we can show that intersection between the arts, these collectibles, these cultural treasures, these cultural assets to the tech, and like how that pairs it all together. So yeah, I was highly excited, really grateful. And shout out to our homie Aaron, the videographer. He did his thing with the video. So please check it out.
Yes, yes.
Anything on your end, Web3 Wayne?
Oh, I was gonna say, show Aaron some love. Show Aaron some love. He's a great videographer. If you're looking for somebody to shoot, your events, I mean, that's the guy right there. That's the guy. He made the magic happen. So shout out to him as well. A lot of props.
Yeah. And with that though, the fun doesn't end here. When we told you we're going to be outside all 2023, we're going to be outside all 2023. So in May alone, we have two events that we're hosting. Both will be at the Gathering Spot, which is an amazing social club for, bright, talented Black professionals who are interested in just making meaningful connections and build upon their own respective pathways, right? So on May 10th in DC, we have our business roundtable. It's a event for all aspiring and current entrepreneurs to meet with subject matter experts or just industry experts who have expertise within like leadership and strategy, business development, marketing and branding, and financials. That guap, that cheese, cheddar, and mozzarella. Yeah, we're just having this dope event where it's going to be a panel discussion followed by breakout rooms in which you can get the gems that you need in order to benefit and grow upon your venture. So that's May 10th. Super excited in DC at the Gathering Spot. Come mess with your boys. And did you want to take the second event, Web3 Wayne, or you want me to keep going?
I got you. I got you. May 24th, we'll have another event, our Streetwear Connections expose, if you will, which will also be at the Gathering Spot, but this time in the
In the A.
Atlanta in the ATL location. I'm to give the people the rest of the details.
I give it a rest, man. We're bringing together both fashion and tech. So Zeke, or AK, or his real name is Razik, but everybody calls him Zeke. If you know, you know. He's having a fireside chat curated by moi in order to just talk about like how he's using essentially Timbucktoo and our services to integrate technology into his streetwear platform and how he's going about building community. So we're going to have like a really dope fireside chat, followed by a real live streetwear expo. So if you're into A, it's more than just listening and to what's happening. You get to experience firsthand, like by trying on different like streetwear items. So we're talking about like exclusive shoes, the apparel. We're gonna have like really dope stuff. We're gonna try and put together a raffle, and you get to see a demo of Timbucktoo. So that's gonna be fire. That's gonna be in the A. If you're in the area, please come out and show love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's gonna be a fire one.
It's
Gonna be
gonna
a
be a
fire
fire
one.
one, a fire one. A lot of dope stuff, man. But what you most excited about? What, Three Wayne?
Ah, man. Let's see. It's been a minute since I've been down to the A, man. It's been a minute since I've been down to the A. So looking forward to that. The intersection of fashion and art. I think that's going to be a dope one. Um, and man, yeah, I mean, we had Zeke out in DC for SneakerCon, so it'd be dope to kind of be in his domain down there in ATL. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. And of course, looking forward to the launch of our platform, Timbucktoo, that's coming soon. Y'all keep watching. We'll have that date coming soon.
Mm-hmm. That's why Web3 Wayne's been working really diligently on the back end. So shout out to him. Shout out to the rest of the team, man. Whew, we got something cooking for y'all, man. I can't wait. But you guys don't want to hear about the events that we're doing. Well, you do want to hear about them, but not just that. You're here for this Web3 game. And so we want to actually revisit some previous episodes. So if you've been listening to every episode of Block to Block and you've been liking, commenting, and subscribing, you'll notice like how these stories continue to evolve with what's going on in Europe. Today, the European Union has passed their markets in cryptos assets regulatory framework, aka MiCA. They literally today they voted in favor of it, 517 to 38 in favor of adopting this framework that will like cover really crypto licensing, how different companies will operate within the Web3 domain, whether you're a exchange or a wallet provider or more. And this is really the first major jurisdiction within the world that has a comprehensive crypto or crypto assets framework. And so it's major news because, as we know, the European Union, this bloc of 27 member countries, is one of the biggest economic regional blocks in the world. And for them to have this comprehensive framework is definitely significant. And, it was largely supported by the members of like the European Parliament and like all the other EU bodies. And it's important because of this quote right here from just like the ministers. The European crypto asset industry has regulatory clarity that does not exist in countries like the United States. And so they're really proud of themselves, and for good reason, to being like really the first region to have a comprehensive framework. And so we really detailed a lot of what this entails in episode 31. We had a whole segment about that, so definitely revisit it. But just at a high level, it does provide classifications in terms of the different types of crypto assets, like the different types of tokens and how those should be treated. We're looking at a single playbook of how these Web3 companies can operate across every European nation. So it's not like I'm in France and I operate with the raw laws in this way. I'm in Portugal and I operate with a different set of rules. There's one singular commonality across the entire region of the EU. So that provides a lot of clarity for businesses who are in Web3. And there's just much, much more in terms of requirements of ensuring that if you have like a token offering, like ICO, you can't just do something that's fugazi and not get clarity. You have to explain what's the value of your tokens, what's the risk for those who are interested in investing, and just provide a lot of transparency. So overall, that's the big theme of MiCA is transparency. It's being forward thinking, and it's really to provide this regulatory framework for protection for European citizens. And yeah, that's really it at the nutshell. The big takeaway, once again, the same takeaways that we had from episode 31 being this is a domino effect. We're going to start to see other governments, other regions really adopt similar frameworks or just adopt frameworks in general to ensure that their citizens are protected within this ever growing Web3 space. We also talked about previously how the European Union, through MiCA, is also interested in developing their own blockchain, which they want to compete with Ethereum. Now, we did talk about the pros and cons of that approach. However, there's still the fact that we're going to see GovTech really evolve and use like blockchain technology to cover things such as property records, driver licenses, and everything else of that nature. And once again, if you're a business owner or a big player in the space, there's going to be opportunity. Like there's going to be opportunities in terms of job creation if you're a developer for who wants to like work on these EU projects, or if you just have a Web3 venture and you operate on a global level, if you're able to really be compliant with all the standards within the EU, you're probably going to be good wherever else you go because the EU tends to be a lot more strict than other regions of the world. And with that, definitely pay attention. We got to have a global perspective when it comes to this space. And that's really it. Major headways over in Europe. The MiCA law has been approved, and it's time to see how this gets implemented. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Web3 Wayne.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh no, we got the little kiddo up here.
You see, the little kids even know that this is the best podcast in the world for all things Web3. So please like, comment, subscribe. Web3 Wayne's making the faces. The kids are out in the back wilding and screaming. This is pandemonium. You can
Listen,
only see
man.
here on Block.
Exactly. We like to keep it fresh for y'all, man. We like to keep it fresh. No, man, great, great, great story. I think it's something to keep an eye out on. The EU is making moves. I think it only shows that the US is going to be close behind, right? And like you said, I think this is good to where you're getting some frameworks around crypto and how things are going to be thought about. And so if you can, it may be in some respects, I won't say impossible, but it may be more difficult to completely comply. But it gives a framework of where you can kind of aim to when it comes to the EU. So I think this is a great step in the right direction for the Web3 world. I'm excited, as always. I mean, think many of us could think of regulation as like this thing that's going to hamper, and there's definitely going to be companies affected by it. But there's some structure that's being brought to the game, so it allows for some growth. So I'm excited. Yes,
Most
yes, yes,
definitely.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
super
So,
excited. But you got some more exciting news,
uh,
right?
oh yeah. So y'all know it's time for the quick take of the day, and this quick take shall be quick. And we want to hop back into as Inati and Jai spoke about. We want to follow up on some previous stories that we've done. Most notably, Shapella has been released. So Shapella has been released onto the Ethereum blockchain, onto the main net. And as a recap, Shapella was the event, if you will, on the Ethereum blockchain that allowed people who staked their Ethereum or their ETH to now take out their Ether. And so, with that, this is a monumental moment for the Ethereum blockchain, mainly because there was the possibility for a mass selling, mass liquidation event, which did not happen, which spells great success for the Ethereum blockchain. So as of April 17th, Ethereum staking volume was 124,000 ETH, which exceeded the withdrawal volume of 64,800 ETH for the first time since the upgrade. In the last 24 hours, the amount of staked ETH was 94,000 approximately against approximately 27,000 in withdrawals. Right, so this trend we're seeing is keeping up and really is a great trend for the blockchain, meaning that people are keeping a lot of their ETH staked within the blockchain. So that's huge news for Ethereum. We do see some validators like Kraken. They've had to exit to comply with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission ruling. And honestly, a lot of the majority of those early withdrawals we're seeing are staking rewards. Again, really showing that those validators are keeping their assets within the Ethereum blockchain. And one of the reasons we can see the decrease from the withdrawals that could really be attributed to or contributed to the average price of stake ETH right now, which is about $2,000. So a lot of validators may be holding on to their assets rather than selling them at the current prices, thinking that the price of Ethereum will go up. Which, with the success of this upgrade, that can only spell positive notes for the Ethereum blockchain and that price of their crypto. So as a recap, Shapella upgrade has been a success for the Ethereum blockchain. Majority of those validators are choosing to remain invested in the platform. And while we've seen some early withdrawals, those were mostly staking rewards or, uh, you know, some of those larger exchanges having to take out their ETH because of regulation. But really, we're seeing a majority of those validators restaking their unlocked ETH or Ether, which has really contributed to an increase in stake ether volume. So Shapella was a success, and we're seeing a pretty solid look within the Ethereum ecosystem. So great news for blockchain, great news for crypto, and above all else, great news for Ethereum. And with that, that's our quick take for the day.
Fire, fire. Yeah, as we always say beforehand, when it comes to these blockchain networks, it's very critical to pay attention to what's the overall plan that they have because probably almost all, if not the vast majority of the major chains have some kind of roadmap or business plan, if you will, right? And Ethereum has been executing. So just the ability of said chains, ability to execute upon their roadmap within the given time frame is super important, especially as you evaluate the long-term viability of it. And so, yeah, shout out to Ethereum. They've been doing their thing. It's interesting because on episode 3, we really talked about the merge, right? Of how they did that proof of stake upgrade or was on their way to do a proof of stake upgrade, right? We mentioned that on episode 3, I want to say. And here at episode 35, we're already at the additional or subsequent phases of their moves, right? And so it just goes to show like how quickly they can move within accomplishing their goals. Because once again, episode 35, this is the 35th week because we are here every week nonstop, right? So it's cool to see how this story evolves.
No, for sure. It's crazy to think it's been 35 weeks since, or let's say approximately 30 weeks since the merge, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, it's uh, it's really dope to see. I'm glad they continue to upgrade, and I'm looking forward to more. There's more coming down the line. Definitely go look Ethereum blog. Look for subsequent upgrades on Twitter, and of course, like, comment, subscribe, share with your loved ones because we're going to continue to follow everything that's going on with Ethereum's upgrades. And of course, we'll come with more stories as things develop.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, that's really it for today. Instead of focusing on giving a plethora of like all these new stories, it's always important to take the time to revisit previous stories and just see how things are evolving, right? Because you can think of just this industry as like one giant movie, right? The scenes interconnect, the stories interconnect. And for us to really understand the plot, sometimes we have to rewind and revisit. And so, with that, we appreciate you all for tuning in. We want to give you more of like a straight to the point episode today. And with that, I am NFT and Jai.
And I am Web3 Wayne.
The talk was totally different. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment down below your favorite parts of the episode, and if you have any topics you want us to talk about. And with that, we'll see you next week. Peace.